That was a great interview, Jeff. Now finally, where can I find your website?
I don't have a website.
What?
I just never got round to making one.
You know what? I can't take you seriously with an attitude like that. I am extremely disappointed in you. To not have a website is irresponsible, lazy, you lack ambition. I mean, where's the vision?
Don't be like Jeff. Be responsible. Get out there and shine with a beautiful website by Web Orchard, where they will take care of all of your website needs. Go to theweborchard.com right now and get a beautiful website you deserve.
You know what? Get out.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Volume 2 of our 2024 coverage of Loopfest. This is a different version of what you heard on Volume 1. This is brought to you by me and Timmy, and there's going to be like 2 intros for this because I need to sort of give you the rundown of the podcast, and then me and Timmy will guide you through your day. So Volume 1 was me walking around and speaking to lots of different artists around Shrewsbury, and Volume 2 is a day out in the castle in the sun. And I wanted to offer those 2 different versions of what people experience at Loopfest, because there were certainly people that sat in the castle all day enjoying the sun, took picnics and stuff. That's very much what we did. So this is what you're about to hear. So about 3 or 4 interviews, and then we get a really good chat with the event organiser, Jimmy Kebab, who will take you through his experience as an organiser running around and planning this event. So if you've just listened to Volume 1, thank you so much for rolling straight into Volume 2. If you haven't, there's still plenty of time, and it's not time sensitive really, so you can go back and listen to Volume 1. Right, guys, let's do this, shall we? We're going to go straight into the castle. And yeah, this is Volume 2 of our coverage of Loopfest. Enjoy. Welcome to part 2 of our coverage of Loopfest 2024. Me and Timmy. Say hi, Timmy.
Hello.
We're backstage right now at the castle. Greysha is playing right now. That's a beautiful voice you can hear in the background. We're going to try and get an interview with her. We're also going to speak to one of our someone that me and Timmy both love. And who's that man?
BEARDYMAN.
BEARDYMAN. In your estimation, what is BEARDYMAN? Who is BEARDYMAN? What does he do?
So he beatboxes. He's the best beatboxer after me.
After you? You got skills, have you? Are you going to show BEARDYMAN your beatboxing skills?
Nah, I don't want a competition with him.
You don't want to let him down? You don't want to break his heart? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right, so we'll interview Greysha. I mean, just to set the scene, it's still quite early. It's 1:25. People are starting to come into the castle now. There's people sat on the grass, but there's not a lot of people here yet, which is fine. But it is going to fill up, I guarantee it. Especially when BEARDYMAN rocks up on stage. I think he's on about 3:30, I believe. So anyway, we're going to take in a bit of Greysha's music, and then we're going to try and get an interview of her backstage. That sound cool to you, Timmy?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you thinking so far?
Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah. You got your sunglasses on today. You're looking like a bit of a rock star today.
Well, the yellow doesn't really go.
The yellow sets it off. Bright yellow sunglasses are as rock and roll as it comes. Anyway, let's go and find some people to speak to, shall we?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm Alex, and this is Timmy. We're from the Shrewsbury Biscuit here today. We're doing some interviews. You're Greysha, and what's your name?
Dan. I produce for Greysha.
Oh, brilliant. Your set was fantastic.
Thank you.
I hope you don't mind. What I'd do is I've recorded a bit of your set and I'll fade it into the interview. Is that okay? That'll just steal your music.
Go for it.
So where does this start for you as a career?
So I've been doing music since I was like 14ish. So I've been doing it quite a while, and I'm from Shropshire, so I've done the Shropshire thing, and just keep going, and I love it.
Shropshire as a music scene, as opposed to like we hear a lot about people going to the big cities to go and make it, but like Shropshire as a music scene trying to make it. How's that been as a journey for you?
I think when you go to a city, obviously there's a lot more people, and that's fine. Obviously there's more opportunities and that kind of thing, but I think the community and the feel you get from Shropshire, it's your hometown, it's the people the people get to know your music over and over again, and you know what, I think the quality is, I would say more, or it's I don't know, I'm from here and I love it, so.
I suppose when you're sitting inside a bubble like this, it's hard to look outside of it, isn't it? But I mean, you hear so much of people going. You hear about the Hollywood runaways and things that go out there, and the streets littered with these people that have tried to make it and couldn't quite make it. But I feel like now things. I was talking yesterday with Manor Heights about Trademark Blood and some of the stuff he's been doing with the music awards. How there seems to be like a bit of a turning point with Shropshire musicians. So are you seeing it as someone who's been trying to make it out there?
I think there's definitely like an improving kind of community of like music coming along, especially with the past like couple of years, because we've got the Shropshire Music Awards, which they've only run 2 years, haven't they? I think. And Loopfest, obviously. I think there's a lot more kind of stuff, especially opening up from like lockdown and COVID and that kind of thing. It's nice to see though, because I think times are tough, aren't they? And with like everything, like the world.
We're getting there, and as a producer, someone who's been producing music, I guess you've got to keep your eyes on the ground around you. Look at what's going on. What are you seeing that you're doing? That other musicians are doing? Do you try and do your own thing? Have you got to try and find your own path? Is there a bit of balance in that? I mean, how's that work?
Our setup has just gradually got more and more technical over time because I over-engineer everything. I've been producing music for local artists in Shropshire since I was 18. I'm 34 now, so I'm doing it well over a decade, and I think like things like Shropshire Music Awards as well, what that's really helped do is help artists recover from the pandemic, like if you think about it. So I've seen a lot of projects that have just collapsed and just gone away since then. Maybe that was meant to be, but I've seen a complete revitalisation of like the music scene.
And Loopfest is great for venues as well. There's little venues that you guys thrive upon, giving them that bit. I was in Frankville for 2 hours yesterday, and it was so funny. People came in waves for an act and then disappeared, and waves for the act and then disappeared. That was really, really encouraging to see, because that's all money behind the bar, right?
Totally. Like, I think it's really nice that it's all around Shrewsbury as well. It's not just one place. Like, it's just like a whole town festival, which is really nice, isn't it? I like it. It's good. You've
got a couple of questions to ask. My son Timmy, he's into theatre. He goes to Get Your Wiggle On. He's now encouraging into sort of songwriting. You're writing a song, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you got any questions to ask Greysha?
Well, if you were writing a song, what would the tips be like that you would use?
For a young songwriter, what tips?
I would say try to listen to yourself and your brain as much as you can when you're writing lyrics, because the lyrics are the thing that will really connect with people. And you can create really cool chords and you can do all that, but I think when you write a song that means a lot to you about something that you like or love or you want to talk about, I think that's like the star of a song, right? Like, as in like the golden nugget in a song. So I think just and also write loads and loads and loads.
We were talking a bit about emotions earlier, weren't we? And what were you saying about emotions?
Well,
we were talking about when you're angry or when you're sad. Mm-hmm. What's the best mode for you to be writing in?
Oh gosh. I've actually written quite a few songs when I've been angry. I know that sounds awful, but anger is a good one, I'm not gonna lie, because anger and sadness, unfortunately, are all the bad ones, but I think it's those kind of subjects that really make you feel deeply about certain things, and then it makes you write more. But I've also written things about happy things about feeling really good, so I think it's just extreme,
I think eccentricity comes from happiness, doesn't it? That's when you start like, everything's happy, everything's colourful, everything's grand, there's songs that they
have their purpose, I guess. But I mean, when it comes to like heartbreak and life, I think you were talking about life growing up and things like that. People really relate to those sort of songs. So.
And I think especially like when you live in a small town like this, you know, it's not London, it's not Birmingham, it has its own unique properties, doesn't it? And as you grow up, you have that different experience of growing up here versus maybe anywhere else. And I think, it's important to talk about because a lot of people relate to that.
Brilliant. Are you guys going to stick around and look for BEARDYMAN?
Oh yeah, we're going to stay.
Just walking around, I'm like, the BEARDYMAN's one of our idols, isn't he? We absolutely love him.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. The stuff he did with Harry Mack was just like, for me, it was like the universe coming. My two universes come together. So like, I can't wait to speak to him. So anyway, thank you for chatting to us. Have you got any more questions, Timmy?
No.
No. Well, have a great day. Enjoy the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, where can people find you?
On social media like YouTube, Instagram, just literally Greysha Music, literally anywhere. Yeah, anywhere. GREYSHA.
Brilliant. Thanks for chatting to me, guys. Cheers. Thanks. And say, I'm Alex. I'm from the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.
All right.
And we're covering an awful lot of what's going on at Loopfest over the last few days.
Cool.
Your set was fantastic. That was phenomenal.
Thank you so much, though.
Where do you guys get that energy from? It's like...
I don't know, really. At least it's. I think the music makes it possible. It's just like, when the music starts, I'm kind of different person, and it gives a lot of energy. So the beat and all the things, this is just like
I totally
something else.
On that one. I always say that I'm a different person behind a microphone than I am in real life.
Yeah.
Like standing back here backstage waiting to interview someone, I'm a nervous wreck. Turn the microphone on and I'm like, hello, welcome to my show.
Right.
It's great to live like that though, in some regards, it's kind of...
I think it just happens automatically because I think everyone is a kind of different person on stage than like in private life, kinda. So because like the adrenaline comes up, and it'll go. So yeah, I really have to say quite a different person on stage. But I enjoy that. It's just awesome job.
Where have you guys come from today?
We stayed here. We played yesterday at St. Mary's Church, which was an awesome gig. We enjoyed it a lot.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday in the evening, 9:20 we started, and it was like outstanding. People freaked out. It was so great. So we stayed overnight. We played the gig at the Castle Sunday afternoon, and now we go to Telford to play like the Sheds in Telford.
The Sheds.
Yeah. And tomorrow we play some small gig around in Whitchurch. They're good friends of us.
So you guys are properly touring then?
Yeah. So this year we started touring in 2011. So for the people out there, we are from Austria. We are the Uptown Monotones, and we tour in England since I think 2012. We played for about 6,000 people, I think, in all over this time in the UK. And this year we are here for this bank holiday, next bank holiday. We are here for mid-June, play some Limb Festival and some things going on, mostly around Manchester. That's where we started, and at the end of the year. In October, we come back for Lancaster Music Festival, which was last year really cool for us. We won the award of the most favorite band of the whole festival, which was like for us Austrians just amazing. So that's what we're up for. Yeah.
How do you orchestrate? I mean, you've got so many things going on stage. You've got beatboxes, you've got didgeridoos, you've got your crazy vocals. Yeah. How do you come up with all this? How long does it take to make sure you've got it right?
It grew over the years, I have to say. We tried things out always, like and then you just see recognize people like what you do, this kind of the balloon maybe, people like it, so let's start doing this, and all the stuff comes up, like my chaos beds and stuff. I've seen it with Radiohead in the mid 90s. There was like they were kneeling on stage and just tweaking around with some kind of tools, and I wanted to know what it is. So they told me, okay, it is like the chaos pads from Cork, and you can like use it. And so I use it for my vocals, and a lot of reverbs, echoes and stuff. And my part in the band is like the singer, but it's also like the keyboards, playing pads and all these kind of things. And We met Ivor. I mean, like Helly and me. We are like we started the band back in 1993, so we are really pretty long on tours.
One of my favorite bands of all time are Weezer. Love Weezer, right?
Oh, Weezer, yeah.
And I feel like they get better with age. I feel like with every album they get better. They do.
Yeah.
Do you feel that with yourself? The more you do this, the more, because you've been doing it for that long, you're getting like, it's like an instinct for you now.
Absolutely. You know, like every job you do, if you do it really often, you get better and better. So the thing is, you don't have to. You don't have to. There's not so much effort in put so much energy into it than in the early days. In the early days, you pushed it so hard, you know, and now you get a bit more chilled, but you can have the same impact, but don't use that much energy. So that's.
I suppose you've done the rights and the wrongs over the years. Now you're kind of like, we know what to do. We've been doing this for so long.
Exactly.
How was that for you? Was that good for you?
It was fun, absolutely. Also, we were really happy that the weather played along. The atmosphere was super chill, and I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to our second gig tonight as well. So this was a great start, and I hope the crowd liked it as much as I did.
Amazing. You guys are phenomenal. Do you know where people can find you? Social media, things like that? Are you on Instagram?
Yes. The Uptown Monotones. It's like all the classic platforms we are at. And you can find also our music on Spotify and so on. And yes, please feel free to drop by, give us a like, stay up to date. We are back in the UK on a regular basis, like twice or 3 times a year. And yes,
so grab them while you can.
Grab them while you can. Let's go.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Cheers.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
David, we were chatting last year about this. Obviously, I mean, we've been doing a lot of stuff in the venues around Shrewsbury because we're doing a 2-parter this year. This event is like, it's so magical for the venues out there, boosting sales, getting people in there. I was in Frankville for 2 hours yesterday, and it was like the people coming in waves and sloughs when artists. I mean, what do you think about this? Obviously, I mean, you guys are.
I think it's great. I mean, firstly, I've got to say your podcasts are long enough anyway, so we're 2-parter. I think I'm going to have to book a week off work just to catch up on that.
It could be worse. It could be Joe Rogan doing an 8-hour with Elon Musk.
But it's interesting what you say about the waves, because I noticed that I walked around all the venues at least 3 times yesterday, and it was. You go into one venue and it was like, okay, I wish it was a little bit busier, and then you go to another one, it's absolutely rammed. You go back to the first one and suddenly, that one's rammed. And talking to people, there's a good 20 minutes between sets. Now, you can see it from the audience's point of view. Why wait around for 20 minutes when you've got 20 other options to go and watch and enjoy live music, and then go back maybe to the one you said, too much choice, if anything.
I've seen people walking around with these Loop Festival sample cups. They look like sample cups, but they're amazing. I've got 2 of them at home now. They're going to be my pride and joy. Going from venue to venue with these cups, it's been amazing seeing them walk around Shrewsbury.
I suppose really it's just a great way to see that these people are involved in what we're doing. It's almost like a badge of honour. We're doing Loopfest, which is absolutely great.
And you got legends like BEARDYMAN right here, one of my idols.
Yeah.
Right here. I'm going to hopefully get an interview with him. I want to say thank you to yourself. Obviously, you've been a great. Not only a proprietor of your own.
Yeah, props to Jamie Smith. I literally do 5% of the work when it comes down to the actual event itself. Jamie's been hard at work for this for a good 12 months. But in fact, Loopfest last year finished, Jamie started, and he hasn't stopped yet. Hence why I'm talking to you.
I haven't seen him. I haven't been able to get hold of that guy for a week. In fact, the other day I was like, listen, dude, I'm trying to.
I know.
Is he all right? Is he okay? Is he alive?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, well, we've strapped a heart monitor on him, and if it goes too high, then we send somebody to go and just mop his brow. But full credit to Jamie, because he does all the work, and we step in at the last minute and we look good. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, okay. Nice chatting to you.
Nice, Alex. Cheers.
Hope you have a great rest of the festival.
Cheers, man.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to set up an interview that I was dying to do all weekend. And in fact, the moment I saw that this person was going to be featured at Loopfest, I messaged Jimmy immediately and said, I need this interview. This guy has inspired me so much. Whether you've seen him performing live at the Albert Hall and creating a whole orchestra with his mouth, whether you've seen him during the pandemic in those absolutely amazing videos where he made absolute drum and bass bangers in what looked like his garage, whether you've seen him in the Harry Mack videos, BEARDYMAN is one of the most incredible musicians on the planet. Every song is created out of things that come out of this guy's mouth. He has a series of tablets. He has loop pedals or loop technology where he can loop things over and over and distort sounds and things. So he makes everything on the fly as he goes. So I'm going to play a bit of his audio and I'm going to fade it right into the interview. So this is a bit of audio from the weekend. And I think it's worth mentioning as well, the sun was right in his face. We couldn't see his screens. It was hilarious watching everybody backstage trying to make... There was umbrellas being thrown on stage. They were trying to make contraptions out of cardboard. Everyone was trying to shield BEARDYMAN's screens from the sun. But that being said, he pulled it out of the bag still. He carried on going. He's controlling 6 screens whilst recording his voice, while getting the crowd going. This guy is like, he's pulling so many strings whilst everybody's running around trying to make his screens work. It's brilliant. So this is a bit of the audio. I will then, yeah, this is amazing. For me, this is amazing. Hope you enjoy it.
I'm not joking, get off that grass bank. Get off your ass, come on. I made the effort, came all the way here. Least you can do is get down front so we can have a rave. It's not Saturday, come on. It's not, it's Sunday, it's Sunday.
Now I go make some beats.
Oh, dear me.
So, Mr. BEARDYMAN,
Oh,
the one and only.
starting already,
Oh,
Jesus.
yes, I hit record.
Oh, I need more. Brexit, dividends.
I'm sorry to accost you with the microphone. I didn't want to lose you because I've been waiting a long time to do this interview. You did an incredible job out there. I mean, people that were at the castle watching you do that with the sun in your face, you couldn't see your screens.
Couldn't see my screens. At the end of the day, I think we did as well as we could, given the circumstances. You know, we tried to get up league, made some important purchases this season, but at the end of the day, you know, you dealt the hand you're given, and you play the game you play. The ball was in the Alcott most of the time, but you know, when it was in Alcott, I think we held it well. Didn't concede too many goals, and at the end of the day, you know, that's what you got to do when you're faced with whatever reality is. You just deal with it.
Incredible stuff. Your improvisation skills are amazing. You're up there with one of my... I'm a big fan of people that make audio.
That was like planned from the word go to the word stop.
The sun in your face and keep going. How many hours do you have to practice a day?
I should practice much more
to get to that point.
I don't know. I won't have any hours I can. I see you've got kids. I have kids as well.
Yeah.
They make practicing seem less important because they're more important.
Yes.
So I could like sell my children and then practice more. But
Sounds
I'm
like a great idea
to do that. I think it's illegal and it's not something I actually want to do. So yeah.
He's like, hey.
Hey.
I'm a great. I mean,
parents harbour these kind of desires. No, to be quite honest, I should practice more. I think practicing is a very difficult thing to force yourself to do. You have to do it. I don't do it enough. Well, actually, I'm spending a lot of time like working on the technology to do this kind of stuff.
Are you okay?
Hey man, what's going on? Yo, is there any chance to need cider?
Right.
Are you able to provide cider?
Get you.
Can you be a cider provider?
BEARDYMAN needs cider. Get him cider. The stuff you did, because you and Harry Mack got me through the lockdown, and the stuff you did with Harry.
Genius, man.
It was my two universes coming together. Genuinely,
Oh, really?
It felt like two worlds collided in
Harry's
a good way.
a genius. Harry Mack is not from this planet. He's just not. He's got access to like all the dimensions, and he drags words from all of them and perfectly forms them into this like genius, like this
What you
linear.
played for, I mean-
It's just mad that he's able to do it. His lyrics, freestyled, are better than most people's written lyrics. It's ridiculous.
The way he works is incredible.
And it's the consistency as well, because there's enough kind of freestyle MCs who've like hit a really high watermark on occasion, or like, you know, they'll have off days. He's never had an off day, like ever. It's crazy.
We went to watch him live in Manchester, and it was really incredible to see him live. But I definitely appreciated seeing him more on YouTube, those kind of things, because it must be incredibly sort of difficult to resonate at the same.
I played with him live, and I must admit that, oh bless you, I love you.
I remember seeing the clip of you bringing you on stage. That's incredible.
Yeah, man, it was felt like kind of pressure, you know, because he's so good and he's like an idol of mine. But luckily, he likes my stuff too, and whenever he comes to England, he seems to want to hang out and jam, which is just amazing to me, and I feel very blessed for that.
You have a good big gulp of your cider. I'm very sorry. I won't. This won't take too much longer. So,
how old are you?
9.
I've got a 9-year-old. I've got a 9-year-old. I've got 2 6-year-olds.
You got a question for BEARDYMAN, haven't you?
Yeah. First one is, when did you start beatboxing?
When I was like 3, maybe even before. I think all babies start making noises. I was maybe making more noises than most, but like generally kids will start to like form these noises into words, and they'll leave aside the non-word noises, but I just kept making noises. But I didn't know that you could do anything with it until I was older, because beatboxing didn't really exist when I was a kid. Like, it did, but it wasn't very good, and there weren't that many people doing it, and there was no internet. I'm very old.
I've
might even be as old as your dad.
Maybe, just a little bit. We've been covering a lot of musical acts over Loopfest. There've been various beatboxers I've seen. I saw the Scribes in St Mary's. They got great beatboxing skills and stuff. But you're up here on this amazing, like you are.
Except when the sun's out.
Except when the sun's out.
My powers only work at night.
How did you keep going when all that was happening around you? It must have been.
It was
surreal.
a challenge. I was doing a lot of it just by feel, like sort of in the dark, kind of. It was so distracting. People trying to erect umbrellas around me and build cardboard forts. And that was so, oh my God.
Is this your first time
all done
playing?
with the best of intention, but madness.
Is this your first time playing Shrewsbury then?
And last, yes. We'll be even lower next time.
What
Do you know what they did? They put, so on my rider, which is the thing you give when you want people to provide things for you when you turn up to do a show, it says that I won't go on stage unless a framed picture of the word anus is provided in the dressing room. It's a stupid joke. It's puerile, and it was never supposed to be something which got broadcast to the public. And like an hour before I was supposed to go on, they put out a post saying, "We're going to make this a free event, and if you have bought a ticket, you can get a refund." And then a big picture of me with this giant word anus.
I did
and
see
then all
that.
people see was like the word anus and the word refund. And I'm like, oh God, this is supposed to be a family-friendly show. So I'm never coming back to Shrewsbury. There's going to be so many. I think this is going to get, like, if it gets reviewed at all, something scathing.
Well, we never have nothing like you coming to Shrewsbury, so
no. So someone is going to take the opportunity to be like, there he was, ragging on the Tories. And
this is what happens outside the Shire, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, fuck it. Oh, bless you. Cool.
Right, okay. One last question, Timmy, before we let BEARDYMAN get on his way. You got one more question, haven't you?
Timmy.
Timmy, lovely to meet you.
Do you think you're the best rapper? Well, beatboxer.
Absolutely not. The best beatboxer. Oh God, who's the best beatboxer? So one of my favorites is Napalm. Check him out. He's amazing. He's an American guy. He made a whole album without even using his voice, just his face. Just face music. Check out Napalm.
Amazing.
Napom. He's my favorite, I think. But there's River is also amazing. French guy.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, BEARDYMAN, I'll let you get on your way. You got cider coming left, right, and centre. You need to grab your stuff on stage.
Look at that.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too. You too.
Absolute honour meeting you.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
Cam Eric, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm sorry we didn't speak yesterday. You know how I am sometimes. I get like, it takes me a while to sort of get momentum going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was chatting to you, and I was kind of like, oh, what am I doing? Where am I going? And then I was like, oh, I should have spoken to the microphone.
Yeah, we didn't do it yesterday, but we're doing it now, so that's all
Doing good. You were helping out yesterday, volunteering.
I was volunteering yesterday. Yeah, it was good. So just keeping an eye on things, picking up some litter when needed, but generally just keeping an eye on all the bands and enjoying it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Jamie, behind us, organiser, is like sifting through the bins, making sure there's enough room for the bins. He's laughing at me. He's doing a great job. So, as an experience, was it your first time doing it?
Yes, yep, it was.
And as a thing to see happening in the town, what are your thoughts about
Oh, it was amazing. It was really good because we were giving out flyers. So we were walking around all the venues and having a little peek in each one and giving people flyers on the street and everything. And there was such a really like an energy around town. Everyone was enjoying themselves. I was speaking to some of the bouncers outside the Alchemist and they were like, it's so busy and it's great. So yeah, it was good. It was really, really good.
What have you thought of today? BEARDYMAN, incredible.
Yeah, really good. We arrived halfway through, so we're going to kind of go and catch a few bands, but he was really, really good.
What did you guys think? BEARDYMAN.
It's okay.
So it was okay? Best beatboxer in the world. Do you like him?
It was alright.
I thought he's one of my idols, genuinely. Like
Really?
during lockdown, there's a few people that helped me through it. Harry Mack, yourself actually, with some of the stuff you were doing. Harry Mack, but BEARDYMAN was incredible then.
Yeah.
And then them two came together and they made music together. And it was like my two universes colliding.
Oh, how amazing!
And I've just got to meet him as well.
That's incredible.
I was like proper shy. I don't get starstruck that often, but I was kind of like, I love you.
I love that for you, Alex.
Oh, it was an amazing thing. Thank you, Jamie, for that. I did say to Jamie, if you can get me an interview with BEARDYMAN, I'll have your children. So you got a baby on the way, Jamie.
Nice.
Well, I hope you have a great time today.
Thank you. We're going to head and I'm going to meet my husband and where he is and then see what's going on and just enjoy it today.
What are you working on at the moment? Still doing the dance and the yoga?
Yeah, I'm doing quite a lot of freelance working, so it's not my stuff, but I'm doing a lot of teaching for Shropshire Inclusive Dance. Somebody you should definitely be talking to, actually. They do lots of wonderful, wonderful stuff, inclusive work as well. And yeah, teaching at various places, yoga, and I've got a few things in the pipeline, but I've just moved house, and I've got a few family things that I've just got to kind of keep involved in, and then like as we move towards the summer, I'm hoping I can.
You've got to concentrate on you, because if you can't concentrate on you, you can't help others.
Yes, exactly.
Very important. Look after yourself, guys.
Thank you.
Tell people where they can follow you and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. So my Instagram is This Vibrant Life with Cats, and I'm all about kind of bringing joyful energy and vibrancy and empowerment, particularly for women in the 40s, because we kind of hit a moment where things feel on top of us, and it's important to reconnect back to that kind of inner teenager and get that kind of fun and everything.
Charisma, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Positive energies. Yeah. I'm all about positivity, me. I love that. Lovely to see you.
Cool. And you, really, really nice.
Enjoy the festival, guys.
Places, but yeah, I mean, what can you say? It was mega.
It was huge. I've just hit record, so okay. We can go into it. I mean, we can go into it very naturally. Yeah. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Kebab or Jamie Smith, whichever one you want to call him, the guy that runs around profusely sweating, doing a million things at the same time on Loopfest, running the whole thing, juggling chainsaws and making sure it all runs okay. It's the Friday after the festival, and you've had a few days to relax, or have you been still working hard?
First of all, I'd say that I don't really sweat because I forget to drink water, so I'm more red-faced than perspiring. Yeah, but yeah, it was, to answer the question, which was, it is the week after, and we're still going strong, continuing the close down of Loopfest, but also developing next year's Loopfest at the same time. There's no rest for the wicked.
Are you already planning I mean, how does that go? Because obviously lots of working parts to something like this. Are you already planning next year's event before this one's even happened, or do you have to wait for this one to finish before you start the next?
Well, because it was the first year we had the premises license, which allowed us to have a capacity up to 750, we weren't actually allowed to fully start prepping, and so we probably aren't still allowed to fully start prepping till we have a conversation with the Shrewsbury Museum and Art Galleries about the castle. But so far, so good. There's no issues with the police or fire or noise complaints really so far. So we're in a really good position that they'll let us continue next year.
There were great vibes. I was like walking up and down Shrewsbury in between venues and sets and stuff. And I was speaking to bouncers, I was speaking to bystanders, I was speaking to people that were festival goers and musicians. And the vibes were just so good throughout the whole weekend. There didn't seem to be any trouble.
No. Well, I think genuine music lovers, especially at this grassroots music level lovers, people who go out to gigs and they want to see new act and they want to have a good time and enjoy it, and they're with the families. You don't normally get the sort of ruckus that you'd expect from a boozy night out. It's let's do the pub golf or something. It's always going to be a disaster no matter what, isn't it? It's always going to be somebody. But I think this is more people were going out for the music, and they were traveling from farther away as well. So
yeah,
I think them travelers, the people who are traveling to the shows from further afield, they need to get back home. So you need to get your train. So it kind of makes sense that you control it. But it was lovely weather, most of it. So
that was a huge difference, because I was chatting to the Endings. I was chatting to Manor Heights as well. And so it was really funny because I bumped into the Endings. I hadn't seen them for a long time. And they said they just had a conversation with Manor Heights before they spoke to me about the interview that we had, which then commenced to rain last year. So I had that conversation with both of them, and I think it makes a huge difference. Always happens, whether it's Formula One, football, festivals, whatever it is. If it's nice weather, people are going to kick back and relax. You can it's just a gamble, isn't it?
I know, and we've been living in this country ourselves for a number of years now, and we know that it is always going to be random, the weather. It doesn't matter what it says. We were like, oh my God, it's going to be monsoon. The next minute it was going to be, beautiful weather. And what we got was a nice introduction into British summertime, which we hope will continue for a while because it is glorious at the moment.
Oh, well, I'm actually going to go on record and saying you brought the sun, because there was no sun until Loopfest happened, and I was like, oh, and it's the Friday still, and I don't think the sun stopped since Loopfest. So thank you for that.
Yeah, once that rain had gone on when the Future Heads were performing on the Friday,
yes,
then it was we were all in there. But I quite like that because when you build this, or you get somebody else, Pro Audio Services, not me, I didn't build it, but they build this whole system, and then it was the first time I saw their system operating, and the rain was coming off it. I was like, wow, it's introducing extra visual effects.
Yeah.
And people didn't care because they were stood there watching a band that, hasn't played in this area for a long time. If, we're quite lucky really to have had that caliber of acts playing, and also for, organizations like Pro Audio Services and CA Audio, who were doing all of the lights and sound.
They're incredible. In fact, I've got a good picture.
Church.
I'm going to send over to you a picture of. I was in Frankville, and they got the guy with a tablet monitoring the sounds. I think it was as Fiends were playing, possibly. It was one of them bands, and you could see that he was paying perfect attention to the levels, and I was mesmerised by what he was doing. It's an incredible science. So, and making sure that there's no feedback on the microphone, that everything works properly. Everybody did an amazing job with the kit there at the weekend. So well done.
It was on the fly. All these people are doing it on the fly as well. So it's not like you have loads of time to work out what the sound is. You've got 40-minute transitions between each act, and you get there in the morning. You might have 2 hours to make sure everything's set up. Most of these places don't have their own systems. Albert Shed is probably one of the few that is constantly in use. Yeah. So it was really hard work for these guys to set up, and then they're in it all day long for a long time as well. There could be a 12-hour stint really when you finish it, and some of the guys were playing gigs as well. Like Bear from Fight the Bear was doing sound probably when the Fiends were playing, and he also performed with Fight the Bear as well.
Fiends, I saw something incredible. The bassist snapped a string, which is it's a hefty string to break, and he had he panicked, and the bassist from the Great Leslie Band ran up straight away instantly, brought his bass guitar down and gave it to the guy from Fiends.
No way.
And he put it on, and it was really funny because he was trying to loosen the strap for the bass guitar, and he actually tightened it. So he had it. He had this bass guitar under his shoulder like Alex Turner from bloody Arctic Monkeys trying to play a skate bass. It was incredible. But just that he was like, I've been there. I was, I want to help a guy out. It was really nice to see. So well done to you guys.
No, that's good. I had a similar faux pas when I was playing on stage. I ripped the strap hook out of my bass jumping around. So then someone had to try and gaffer tape it on. He was like, oh no, the screws came out. I was like, oh, right, okay. That's a disaster.
So from your skeptical, professional, proud eyes, looking back now, in your own personal view, how do you think the festival went?
The festival was incredible. It was well beyond what I would have expected it to be. We put a lot of time into it. This is not me. I've got a massive crew of people, and they all worked really, really well together to pull it into shape before the event, and then continuing throughout the event when we're all really tired. This is a very small team, and hats off to them, really. I mean, that's what I think is that the operational side of things, with all of the equipment getting put in the right place at the right time, it couldn't have happened without the same team that we've had for a couple of years now, and some new people as well who've came in and shone. And this is the promotional machine has been going on for probably 6-7 weeks. So every weekend we've been out into Ludlow, we've been up to Chester, we've been to Telford, been hitting everywhere, trying to get that message across of, hey, come and check these amazing grassroots bands. And so the weather stayed out for us. There was no issues in the town centre. The music was great. I mean, a lot of these acts are all original acts, probably 80% of them. And the cover bands that we've got, oh God, they're amazing as well.
Yeah.
And so we're very lucky to have had such high caliber of performers and to have it run like clockwork, which was great. There's always a few little problems that happen, but
I think
it's good to be reflective of them. But
it's where the atmosphere can change. When the Scribes came in, bouncing into St. Mary's, they turned a church into a hip hop like stadium. Like, it was amazing what they did. Like, they were phenomenal the way they transformed it. And before then, they had a band that were playing really nice soft music, and that was a different vibe again. And it was just like
Cousin Cooler,
Cousin Cooler, who I interviewed. They were fantastic. And I just love that one place can be transformed into something completely different with every single act. I mean, BEARDYMAN had umbrellas, cardboard. He had people running around trying to cover his screens. I want to reach out and just say a huge thank you to you and the team for giving me the opportunity. I've gone on about this for this whole episode, before this episode. BEARDYMAN and Harry Mack, they've inspired me. So, and Mark Rebier as well. They're three standout people that have genuinely inspired me. Someone who's obsessed with sound. Those three are just incredible, and that's one of the three sort of bucket list interviews I could have done out of that. So thank you for letting me do that.
It's all good. I noticed on your socials you were so chuffed, and you were talking about it beforehand. You're asking me, and it's hard as a promoter to say, "Oh yeah, you can," but the guy was so nice.
Yeah,
BEARDYMAN, this is, and he was just really welcoming, and I think that's great because I've met heroes, and sometimes the heroes turn out to be dicks.
Yeah,
and sometimes they turn out to be dicks, but actually, they're just tour weary or whatever. And sometimes they're just great, and that guy was just a top chap, so lucky.
Yeah. So it was great, and you've heard that interview before this, because I'm going to save this to the end. And then one final thank you I want to give is to James Warman. Jimmy will attest. The night before I came out, I was having a bit of a wobble because I suffer from social anxiety, and that sometimes can impede on my initiative to just go out and get it done, right? So sometimes if I don't hear, so I didn't hear off you because you were so busy, obviously, and I was kind of like, Jimmy, where are you? And so I spoke to James, and I was like, do you know what's going on? And he's like, I'll sort it for you, don't worry. And he bloody did. He made sure I had my wristband, and he was here, he was there, he was wrangling all of photographers together and getting things done. James Warman is the MVP for me. I've dedicated this whole thing to him because he really sort of reined me in a little bit. So thank you for that, James.
Oh, I know. Yeah. James is a great chap, isn't he? And I think having James there to help us collate and develop the photography aspect of the thing, it's a hard thing because everyone's got different kit and we're all volunteers, and ensuring the quality level is as high as any festival's setup. And we've done it. I've got the pictures. I haven't released them all yet. We're going to do it in a specific way to try and ensure that we credit these photographers and the artists as much as possible, because it's a labor of love, isn't it? You're doing it for a labor of love. I'm doing it for a labor of love. It's just a matter of giving them the hats off and saying thank you very much. I've got some interesting news actually for you.
You got interesting news for me?
Yeah, it's probably like so this is the Loopfest exclusive.
This is going out on the 27th of May, so I don't. We've got a couple of weeks yet before this goes out, but not the exclusive. But I definitely want to hear it, man. Let me know.
All right. Okay. So next year, Loopfest, we're going to be doing wristbands, and the reason why we're doing wristbands is it allows us to understand the scale of the production we can put on based on demand. We know that there was over 20,000 additional people in the town centre over the Loopfest weekend, and this is year 3. It's actually year 2 because we've done Loopfest in consecutive 10-month cycles, so we're still in technically year 2. So this following year, which will be in the May bank holiday, the 3rd, so the 2nd to the 5th, which I guess would be the Friday to the Monday. I think we're going to try and plan to make it longer. And we're going to do wristbands because then it allows people access to everywhere at the same time, and it means we can control the production, which means we know exactly what we can put on and ensure that we have the biggest experience possible across the widest span of the town. So the wristbands will go on sale next week, which would be the middle of next week. I don't know what day is that? Probably the 12th or 13th.
So you're doing like early bird wristbands then?
Yeah, we're doing a 24-hour flash sale. So
nice.
I mean, this might be a little bit late for
that,
your listeners, but
still, I mean, that's a great motivator for people. Because people do have to plan. If you want to come from out of town, maybe book a hotel, whatever. You know that you can buy a wristband and you can guarantee that you get a spot there. That's wonderful.
And we're hoping as well to have. So the wristbands don't guarantee entry. It's a bit like any of these other multi-venue events. So you got to get there early if you want to catch the things that you want to see. But the idea is you have as much as possible in the town. And so my original idea was like, wouldn't it be great to have like some acoustic legend just playing inside the Wheat Chief, and then either side of them we're just like two of our great grassroots local musicians playing. It would be like they're just sandwiched in. They're not a headliner. They're just there. You just put them down as a random name, and suddenly they're there. It's all. I love the magic of just going, wow, what this happened, and the more random and exciting the experience we can have for the audience, the better, really. I mean, St. Mary's was a perfect example of that. Yes. It was very different from what people expected it, and we want more.
Have you had any venues since that weekend reach out and be like, we want to be a part of it next time because of the volume of people that you created?
Well, I think a lot of venues have already tried reaching out, and the biggest issue we have is the number of texts versus the amount of money we have. Because we're paying the artist this year, and so to pay an artist even a nominal fee, it's a significant amount of money when you're talking hundreds of acts. So we're trying to be conscious of controlling the funds. So an example is that the wristbands, they'll give us an idea of how many people are genuinely interested in coming to this thing. I think that, well, I've spoke to a lot of people and they all said the same thing, which is that, 12 quid or something for a wristband that covers the whole weekend and gets you into all these amazing spaces. And, you can use that wristband to get discounts from restaurants. Many of the restaurants have already reached out to us.
Wonderful idea.
So, you buy a wristband, you get all these benefits, and it's cheap, really, for what it is, and it encourages everybody to buy a wristband. It's the cost of £2. But many of these acts, if any of the, like Cousin Cooler, that's a general £10-15 gig you'd pay in Bristol to see them guys.
Leslie band were phenomenal.
I love them. Yeah,
They come off a tour with Franz Ferdinand, I think. They were like smashing like big, huge like crowds, and I was like, and you're here in Frankville, like in front of 45 people. And they were like, we love these gigs. They're intimate. They're great. This is what we do it for, is so we can get out in the crowds and we can feel the music with them. And that was so nice to hear.
I mean, I've done them big tours, and I much prefer a nice grassroots venue where it's a bit cronky, you know, and it's exciting because you don't know what's going to happen. You got them big places. It's kind of, we might have been playing to like lots and lots of people, but there's not as much soul because you're not connected to the people immediately by the power of body energy. If that makes sense.
I was looking at pictures of people going to see Tenacious D this week, and I'm like, that's really good. I think Tenacious D, a band like Tenacious D, deserves an arena tour, but I know that they did a very intimate tour a few years ago, and it was legendary. And I don't think you get the same experience. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. We went to watch Fun years ago, and it was the Birmingham Institute with a small room though. The small room, and we were like, we could touch his feet on the stage. It was that intimate, like it was amazing. I love gigs like that.
They're the best.
What was I going to say? I've got to ask you something. Am I right to put you on the spot for a second? It's nothing bad. It just means you've got to do a bit of thinking. We've got a thing on the game, and I haven't been able to ask anybody during the festival, so I've got to ask you.
Go on then, that's fine.
This is, it's time for...
Are you ready? Questions for Alex. Right, is that it? Can I go home now?
That's the first time I played that for someone actually on the show. It's funny. So I got asked for a new segment to the show, and we got asked if we can get the guest to ask a random thoughtful question for me. I guess people want to know a bit about me, which makes me seem like a narcissist. But you can throw anything at me, any question you want to know about me, Jamie.
When you were younger, where was the first place that you remember you had an awesome time on holiday?
Ah, right, okay. I'm going to say Shell Island. We went to Shell Island. I remember bombing.
Is that in Wales?
Yeah, it's like North Wales. It's a place where during the nighttime when the tide comes in, there's no road, but during the day there is. So once the tide's in, you're kind of stuck there. It's amazing. But I remember bombing down the sand dunes and going across the sea we used to find these giant spider crab legs and stuff. It was amazing. So yeah, Shell Island is one of those standout places where I always remember. And then the other one...
Is that a family thing?
That was a family thing.
Did you used to go with your family often?
Yeah.
Did you go out often, yeah?
No, because it's quite expensive. Well, I didn't go abroad until, I think I was 16. First time, my dad lives in Ireland, and we used to go on a plane to go see him, but I don't class that as abroad. It's weird. It's a weird way of looking at things. I never classed that as abroad because I was going to my dad's. Do you know what I mean? First time I properly went abroad when I was 16, and I went to Hawaii. Which was like a mad place to go for your first time abroad. The girl I was with at the time, I know. The girl I was with at the time, her dad became redundant. He had some money. He bought a ticket, and I paid him back gradually. So we went to Hawaii. That was incredible.
What an experience!
I know. It was like my first ever proper flight. I mean, the flight to Cork, where my dad was a 45-minute flight, but my first proper flight was like 11 hours. It was incredible. So
what we've discovered here though is with the Cork, it's family heritage.
Yeah.
So did you used to spend time in local boozes, listening to traditional music being played, and sort of was that the influence for music for you? Or?
Do you know what? Yes. When I was, when you you first take the training wheels off when you're having a proper drink with your friends. I think how old was I? I could be about 19. Maybe 19, 20. We were always going to see my dad. It was Bantry Bay, which is County Cork. And there's like 26 pubs. And then you have like a chemist and a supermarket and a butcher's. And there's like 26 pubs. And I remember I was saying to my brother who lives there, and I was like, we need to do a pub crawl. And he's like, you don't... What? No, that's stupid. That's 26. That's 26 pints in any kind of money. Do you know what I mean? That's stupid. So we started one end. And my brother is a bit of a stoner, hated the guard that's in the police. And honestly, I got so drunk, I threw up in a cannon,
in a cannon.
I threw up in a cannon, because we went into this bar and I was playing Minesweeper where I was just grabbing people's drinks. Mine.
My God.
And there's this hill where they live in Bantry called No Tax Hill, and that's where you park your car when your tax discs run out because it's so steep. The traffic warden won't walk up there. Anyway, it's so steep that I was crawling up this hill so drunk that the police rolled up and they were like, "Jump in, lads, we'll give you a lift home." So we had to roll up into my dad's estate, and my brother was like, I hate the police. How could you do this to me? He was so betrayed. So yeah, that was my first experience of going for a proper drink in Ireland.
Oh, yeah. And then the next day, it's a lot of pain, isn't it? But when you're younger, though, it wasn't so bad, was it? We had like a Loopfest where everyone's taking a week to recover from a Loopfest. But when you're younger, you have one day and then it's done, isn't it?
It's mad. It's mad. And like I remember, like about 4 weeks ago, there's a game that's like everyone's talking at the moment. It's called Helldivers. Lots of people playing it. And me and my buddy James Rose, the co-creator of Thorskin podcast, he's like family to me. We go on a holiday together and everything. And we were like, let's have a sleepover. Let's have a proper old school. We're in our 30s, you know what I mean? And so I took my PlayStation. He set up an extra TV. We had the 2 PlayStations, the 2 TVs, and we got a massive box of beer. We got food in. It was amazing. I was like, we're going to stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be amazing. I think we had about 4 beers and we were in bed by 12:30. But back in the day, I'd have smashed it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it? Where once you get used to your bed, and also the next day trying to deal with the next part of life to come along, isn't it? It's hard. But it's great though at the time. Bloody hell, it's like there's nothing better, is there? The camaraderie. No, that's why we love it.
And speaking of being next in life, what's next for you in the run up to this? Are you going to give yourself a rest? What does that look like for you? Rest.
Rest. Oh, there's no rest. What we will be doing is doing the 24-hour release next week, and then we'll be moving on to tier 2 releases, and then from there we'll be rolling out into the shops and continuing. We've already got 100 acts confirmed for next year. And so we'll start looking at the latest submissions to try and bulk up the bookings, discussions with campsites about developing the campsite offer so we can make it easier for people out of town to affordably stay over rather than the hotels all sticking the prices up, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's not many hotels, so we want to encourage more people, and then I guess after that we'll just keep pushing on. I think it's quite weird though because it's such a long time away. Like last few years has been 10 months, so I don't think I can really put it down. We were talking about there's still a possibility that we might be doing something in the castle in September, which will be a big Loopfest event, but only in the castle as a fundraiser to try and get some money together. But currently. I don't really see that I've got any downtime apart from I'm supposed to be building a fence in the garden.
That's hard work. I've done that before. It's not easy.
I was going to just get my friends to help me with that. I'm not that practically minded. I can sit there and methodically work through spreadsheets and plan out things. But building a fence, it's not there's anything impossible about building a fence. It's more that I'd have to sit there and work it out, and it's sort of. It builds a barrier and just think, let's look at this spreadsheet.
if you get this the fence done before the episode is released, we'll send us a picture. We'll put it on our social media. So I had a great idea. Like when we did the Shropshire virtual show during the pandemic at the Cavalier Centre, that's the last time I saw the endings. And by the way, the endings gave me a CD, so thanks guys for that. That was really nice. We were hosting, the Shrewsbury Biscuit hosted that whole day. So they would have an act on stage, and we had cameras, and we were there for the whole day. And after an act had finished, we'd be live and be like, "Oh, right, that was amazing. This is really good. We've got a video for you here. Take a look at this." And then next on the stage is this. I mean, we'd hosted the whole day. It was really, really incredible. I was thinking, wonder if there's something we could do with Loopfest. If we could speak to the Beard and find like an empty place we can use as a studio with shit hot internet and do you know what I mean? Get some cameras. I'd love to do something like that. I don't know if it's too complicated.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a
Loopfest TV.
Like Glastonbury or whatever, where they had that a tent. What was a tent? It was like hay bales, wasn't it, or something like that? That
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
cool, man. we did speak to BBC Introducing, but one of the things is it's about what I want is the Loopfest act who are sort of strolling around town, be like, hey, you know, it would be more planned than this, but like, why don't you come in and play a show? Like, we can record it. I just really like the idea that there'd be a band kicking around, and then suddenly, like, I mean, you were talking to the great Leslie, for example. You know, that's an example of it where, you know, suddenly they become part of the show.
Yeah.
I really like that sort of organic side of things, but also there's a lot of acts who still haven't got the assets. And one of the things about Loopfest is that we wanted to develop a lot of the assets, and we're going to continue to do that to allow them to help them build themselves beyond Shropshire. Excuse me.
Yeah, and that's what this. I mean, I had to stop myself from mentioning Trademark Blood actually, because I was like, it's not his event. I can't keep mentioning Trademark Blood, but I think you and him are becoming a bit of a springboard for a lot of artists. Because you guys are doing something incredible. You're giving people something to strive towards. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're an amazing event organizer. Of course, Beth Heath is like the queen of organizing festivals, and she, of course, gives that opportunity to musicians as well. But when it's specifically music and only music that we're talking about, I think of the Shropshire Music Awards and Loopfest. You guys are the heavyweights in that department, I think.
And it's interesting because one of the things that I was talking to Trademark Blood about on the Sunday was about how both of our organizations have got different angles to what they're doing, and he's definitely pushing towards a studio element, and we're trying to drive towards developing multi-camera video production suite, which allows us to pump out and become a PR machine. And was the goal for this year, to try and get that machine moving, and we're on our way now with this Loopfest gone. We're going to start building up these assets to give them to the artists to allow them to move further forward. And at the same time, we want to be releasing our stories about Loopfest. And then if any other artists have got stories that they want us to push through, then the more we build a relationship up with media agencies and the like, then it's easier for us to all work together to push this thing through and build a PR agency that wouldn't cost anything, but is funded by the mechanism of Loopfest. That's the long-term goal, really. It's not about, we want to just put an event on. It's about how do we work with the artists to make sure that they get the maximum amplification. And one of the things that I wanted to do next year, particularly, was try and work with some venues from out of town. So then we do this like versus thing where it's like Shrewsbury versus Huddersfield. And maybe we get Mikey from the parish, who's a promoter, to send us some of his favorite artists, and then we could build this reciprocal relationship where we're helping artists move to different parts of the country and building up relationship with other bands and other venues. So it means that they're not so statically trapped in Shropshire, which, you know, it's hard to get out of Shropshire. There's a lot of gigs here, and we love all our musicians, but getting that further afield into these other places is how artists get known on a national scale.
And I was speaking to Greysha about that. I was speaking to her about, you know, breaking out of the Shire to speak. And I was like, you know, a lot of artists go to big towns to try and make it. And she, you know, pointed out the fact that, you know, if places like Liverpool, London, Birmingham, Manchester, there are more artists, so it's harder to stand out. So sometimes it's better to stick where you're at and be that person, you know, because I think it's her and Macy Yeo at the moment are absolutely killing it from looking at it. So I think maybe she's onto something.
I agree. Yeah, I think having that the PR aspect to it is definitely the thing, because there's certain influencers, let's say influencers, but you know, more like someone created a really good Spotify playlist and it's done really well, and so being on that playlist, it's super important to get on them kind of places that gets the plays, people recognize it. Yeah. You know, as a booker, and I book acts for Albert Shed, Frankville, Loopfest, and one of the things I should say is that you start looking at, well, Facebook's a bit dead, so that's not necessarily a good metric. Spotify can be faked, but it gives you a good indication of what's going on. And then Instagram, obviously, and TikTok, whatever. So you have to build up a profile of an act. It's legitimacy, I guess. You know, it's all right saying, oh, that act's great, but they might sound great, but actually, what's their reach? It's especially when you're looking at booking acts who've going to charge tickets. It's a big risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
So having that portfolio together, so when people are looking for it, having great assets in the first place, having great pictures, great videos in portrait mode, having great videos, landscape mode, pinning their Instagram story or reel without any text on it onto their page, so it's easier for venues to promote it. These are the kind of things that I really want to help acts build up these assets, because if they've got all them there, it's just super easy for the promoter. You go, which act do you want to book again? I'd go, well, I'll pick that one, because I'm busy, and they provided all of the information and all of the assets to make it work. And I think that's a massive thing that people need support with.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, Jamie, you've been phenomenal. Your team have been phenomenal. I think the best way to end this interview will be to ask you.
Shout
out. We can do that as well. But I want to ask you for if you got maybe if it's top 3, top 2, or even the top 1 proudest moment of this year's Loopfest for you.
I think my proudest moment was that I have a great team around me who helped me deliver this. As much as I'll say that I'm Mr. Loopfest, and in lots of ways I spend all year round working on it. Without the support of a partner and all of the core team and all the volunteers who've joined in, all the engineers and all of the staff who are working during when everyone's having a good time, drinking and having fun, respect to them guys. That's what I think was the best part. It's hard to otherwise state what is, could be like, wow, it was a great stage, or, that was a really cool booking, but it's superficial, man. It's the most important thing is that it couldn't have happened without them guys and yourself, of course, who did a phenomenal job last year with the podcast, and I respect that massively. And I was really super glad that you came this year. So thank you.
No, I loved it. I was like I keep saying I was like a pig in shit. I hate that phrase, but that's one that people will understand. I remember I got to St. Mary's because I really wanted to speak to the scribes, because I love hip hop. It's like natural for me. I remember going to the bar and the staff saw my wristband and thrust a pint into my hand. And it was really hot, and I literally sprint walked all the way from one side of the Shrewsbury to the other. And I got to say that pint for me was like it was almost sexual. It was amazing. I was like, oh my god! It was like, so that the staff were just phenomenal. They were so good. Great. And then finally, I don't want you to forget anybody. I didn't want to put you in that situation, but if you did want to shout out people, specifics, who would you shout out?
Bob May, James Warman, Andy White, Tony Gordon, Katie Romney, Juliet Hownham, Alex Whiteley.
Hey,
Biscuit Podcast. Dylan Thomas, Owen Evans, James Burrell, Sam Endicott, Tom Wilmot, Mike Hatfield, Becky Hatfield, Charlie Lee, Debbie Ellis, David Murray, Kat Merrick, Graham Merrick, Andy Lowe, Liz Wright, Charlie Brooks, then the core, Sam Bailey, Chloe Hatfield, Katrin Davis, Lisa Kendall, Dave Smith, Jason Jones, Guy Flint, Dave Gregg, David Mulby, Sophie Depas, Frankie Duffy, Hattie Edwards, Katie Rose Rainford, Ben Beddoes, Ollie, Jack Evans, Izzy McLaughlin, Nick Taylor, Callum and the Pro Audio team, Jake Evans, St. Mary's Church, Robbie Jones, Lewis Newbrook, Mike, Rob Fellows, Sam Ryan, Barry Williams, Ollie Farr, Katie Griffiths and all the bar team, and all the venues who've been involved. And I think that's about everybody. If I missed anyone, I do apologise.
If he's forgotten you and you're offended, please send your complaints to Loopfest at. There's a few of them actually featured in this podcast. Like Kat Merrick is a huge friend of the Biscuit. We've been interviewing her for years. Her Breathe Dance Yoga was amazing during COVID. She did a great job there. I got to have a cuddle with her and a chat with her. That was really nice. And Dave Gregg, obviously, I saw him and I was like, your hair's gone. Where's your hair gone? We had a good chat.
Yeah, no longer looks like Gandalf.
Bob. Well, good luck for next year. Well done for this year. And if I do fancy, I do actually fancy going out for a pint with you guys some point. So make sure you give me a Next Wednesday?
Yeah, I think we're doing next Wednesday.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
There we go. That'll be great then. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Right, I'll let you go. Thank you for chatting to me today. Let me just think.
Hey, no worries.
And yeah, I will do a little outro after this to say goodbye to the listeners. So make sure you don't disappear. But for now, Jimmy Kebab, thank you so much for chatting to me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex.
Cheers. Well, there we have it. That is the conclusion of our 2024 Loopfest coverage. From storming the Welsh Bridge, from hanging out on the pulpit at St Mary's, to chilling out in the sun, enjoying BEARDYMAN in the castle. It's been a phenomenal experience. Genuinely, Jimmy mentioned it in that interview we just did. I was so buzzing when I came off from that festival. Like it's just what I live for. And so I want to thank you, everybody involved, for giving me this opportunity. James Warman, again, both of these volumes are dedicated to you for getting me off my backside and getting me out there and doing it. Sometimes you've just got to jump in at the deep end and not think too much about it. And I was inside my own head, and James, you helped me out loads. So thank you for that. This has been an incredible thing to put together. It's taken 2 days to piece all of these bits of audio together, but it sounds great. Listening back to those experiences of what we managed to get done over the weekend, it really just makes my heart glow with warmth. What an incredible experience. A huge shout out to some of the musicians I didn't manage to get around to. Josh Lobley from the Shirish Rovers. I'm sorry I couldn't grab you guys. Much love, though. I think we're planning an interview anyway. Macy O sadly couldn't be at the festival. Again, we're planning something. I want to give you a full hour just to sit and chat. So I couldn't find you guys at the festival, but don't worry about it. We've got plans. And if you're listening to this and you want to come on the Shrewsbury Biscuit, or you got a suggestion, drop me an email. It's shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com, or hit me up on the socials. It's a bit easier. And speaking of socials, if you're listening to this for the first time, please give the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast a follow. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, TikTok, and we're on X or Twitter. Just give us a follow. Really, really does help. This has been an incredible adventure. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you listen to both volumes, if you're a regular listener to the Biscuit, I've got so much love for you guys. Really, seriously. I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.